All right, hello YouTube, and welcome back to my first or second video. Last one was in SF, and kind of had a yap session just like this, except it was in a much nicer park. But anyways, we're here in Toronto. I've officially moved into my new place, and it's summertime in the six. God, I hate that. But I guess Drake coined it, so like when you go to America or like Europe, yo, you're from the six, bro. Yo, fam, anyways, it just kind of gives me like an ick, as the girls would say, the girlies would say. Anyway, so I've moved back to Toronto after almost 2.5 years of traveling. So I'll share a little story about my journey and who I am and what I've been doing, and kind of just yap about the past 3 years of my life. So yeah, some of you may know I started a page called Income Interviews, where I did street interviews in Toronto, asking people what they do for a living and how much they make. And that started because I got fired from my job, and the only thing I knew how, like, I was so adamant at pursuing software engineering. Like, all I wanted to do was software because I knew software engineers made so much money. Like, all my friends were in SF or New York, and they were all making six figures. And like, I wanted to make money, sue me. And so I didn't know any, like, the only business function I knew that could make six figures like right away was software. And so I really wanted to know what else. Like, obviously not everywhere, excuse me, obviously not everyone is a software engineer, so I really wanted to know what other business functions there are and how people are making money. And so I hit the streets and I asked people, what do you do, how much do you make, what does the day in life look like? Because I was just genuinely curious, like, what the job is and like how much does it pay. And so that page blew up because a lot of other people had similar questions. And yeah, it kind of like changed the trajectory of my life. I got a job offer to do marketing for some crypto. Did that for like 2.5 months on like a contract. From there, I got a role as a head of marketing for an app called CanPR. It's an immigration app because immigration was booming here in Canada at the time. And we helped them grow from 30,000 users to 5 million. I was going to say 50. That would have been crazy. But we helped them grow from 30,000 monthly active, or not monthly, 30,000 users to 5 million users. And we had like, I think it was like 300,000 monthly active users, which is insane. And yeah, so basically from there, I went on to start an agency. And I was really inspired by a friend who got fired from Salesforce, and he went and did the digital nomad life, like moved to Mexico, and he went and started a business and kind of like went from zero to like making a lot of money. And I saw that. And so he hit me up and he's like, do you want to come to Korea? I have an extra room. You could come stay and like figure your shit out, get your life together. Because like at the time I quit, I had like a disagreement with the owner of the startup, and so got fired, but didn't really want to stay there anyway. So yeah, I wanted to figure out what my next move was. From there, moved to Korea and just kind of was trying stuff out. Like, I tried to make content. My friend was telling me about the agency life, and then so I tried that, gave that a go, and then eventually was able to sign. After, I'm condensing it down because I was like going through it. Took me like a month and a half, but eventually I signed 2 clients that were YC companies, and we signed them to $4,400 retainers. So I went from like literally zero to making 8,800 USD. At the time, I had a business partner who was another mutual that started his own agency, and he's doing really well now. And so, yeah, from Korea, literally signed clients. I was like, oh shit. Got my first taste of online money. Like, I was literally around the world and I was talking to companies in like New York and California. Got a taste of that. And then from there, just like doubled down and started growing. Went to like Thailand, went to Japan, went to Dubai, Europe, just traveling the world and like working from my laptop. Um, and yeah, it was a really really cool experience, but it had like a lot of ups and downs. Like there was, like I was able to hire people. I grew a team, um, and literally went from zero to like running a full agency while traveling. I don't want this video to be fully about that. Maybe I'll make a separate video talking about just like the entire story of the digital nomad life. But yeah, that's just kind of how I started my agency, and now I'm still running it today. And we make videos for software companies, or honestly, like any company that needs content. It just happens to be my interest is in software, and I'm interested in tech, and so it kind of gravitated towards that. But we've worked with like e-commerce companies as well as restaurants as well, and so yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing now. Um, this last trip to SF, like I said in the previous video, was like such an eye opener, and it was like such a cool experience to go and see these like billion-dollar companies. Um, cut that part. Anyways, so anyways, anyways, so, anyways, so that so that's the story of the digital nomad life. I'll make a separate video like all about that, but what I want to talk about is like what I'm trying to do now. So we have our agency, things are great. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to build a team that's like really good at content, and it's just like a content machine, and we do it for companies, but then we also do it for ourselves. Like we create our own shows, more like income, but like long form. I think I'm all in on long form, very bullish on like YouTube. Hence why I'm doing this, because it's a lot different than short form, but also YouTube, yeah, it's like a game that I haven't fully figured out for myself and for personal branding, but we've been able to figure it out a bit for our clients, because it just depends on the niche they're in. No, cut. Anyway, in this video, what I want to talk about is what I want to do in the future. And so right now we have our agency. I have income interviews. I'm trying to double down on those because they're very similar. It's like under one company. But essentially what I'm trying to do is build the best content team out there. So I'm trying to just have absolutely cracked people that are great at making videos, from short form to long form, and then do that for clients while also doing it for ourselves. So building out internal owned media and my YouTube channel, hence why I'm doing this. And I'm also doing the very bare bones of it because it's a lot easier than like planning, and I can practice so many things, like getting the habit of filming consistently, practicing my speaking so I don't say like I just did, and just getting in the motions. I'm a big believer in like MVPs, so like doing the minimum viable product, bringing like the tech world and like how they operate into like content. So it's just like, what's the minimum viable product for what a YouTube channel looks like? And it's literally just me sitting in a park in Toronto and talking about X topic. And so, yeah, and then doing it as often as possible. And so what I want to do is post a YouTube video every day and just have it with like no cuts, no editing, no thumbnail, and just literally get into the habit of like consistently posting content about anything and then kind of converge on a theme. And so I have a few themes in mind. And so like I'm going to create multiple YouTube channels, but obviously I know this is like a 3 to 5 year vision, and I'm willing to do this for 3 to 5 years with no results. But essentially this one is just going to be like my personal, where I can post about anything, vlogs, what I want, like my life, story time. And then I want to do a YouTube channel where it's solely focused on my career in tech. So that one's going to be called ASQ Mo. ASQ is the name of our company, ASQ Agency, ASQ Media. So those are the two arms of it, where we do like services for clients, and then we also do content for ourselves. And like we have owned media. And so on there, I'll be posting more about like content, AI, marketing, just career stuff. That'll be like my professional career page and will help me get more clients, build authority, and so on. This one is just me and you chilling, vibing, talking. And then I also want to do one more, which is like a very low priority, but it's something that's always been on my mind. And I want to speak about, it can be a live stream. I'm very inspired by like, I know he's in the media a lot right now and he's facing a lot of controversy, being sued by the government. But Hasanabi, like Hassan Piker and Sneeko, they're on two different ends and like they disagree. But like I really like how they're speaking on issues that matter, exposing stuff that's happening in the government, talking about what's happening in the Middle East. I'm Palestinian, and so like that really hits home for me. It's like something that's mattered my whole life. And it's just interesting because like all the top voices that speak on these issues are never like Palestinians. And I think the reason is because like we've seen the censorship, and like we've seen and heard stories of like people that spoke out. You like get labeled as like whatever term, and you kind of get cast, and like they try to destroy you in every aspect. And so I understand that there could be a risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Hence why I want to be like fully independent and not reliant on one thing. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things where like I can feel the fear of like it going wrong, but it's something that like is so on my mind that I need to do it. And so that's like for my personal brand and my channels, that's what I want to do. And again, I'm gonna do like the MVP versions of all these, and I'm really big on like making progress and growing. And so like there's this thing again in the tech world, as you can tell, I've been in SF, but there's this thing in the tech world where like if you're not embarrassed by your first version, you launch too late. I'm kind of adopting that. People have their opinions on it, but I like that framework of thinking where you want to just push it out and push it out consistently and then see where it goes. And so yeah, those are like the three things that I want to do. I have a lot more planned in terms of like the media side, but I guess you'll just have to stay tuned because I don't want to give up all the info. But we're launching like a page that's all about like startups and tech and AI and Silicon Valley and funding. I guess I'll just say it's called First Block. I converted my podcast, which is somewhat serious, and rebranded it to that. And it's going to be all about like creators. The two things that I'm interested in is like the creator economy and making content and making money from making content. So like YouTube, brand deals, influencer marketing, and then also like tech, AI, companies being built, venture capitalism, funding, economics, I guess, because like there's like a huge debate about the AI bubble, if it's similar to the dot-com boom, so on and so forth. And so there's like a lot there. And so, yeah, that's like kind of what I want to do. And now I've said it. And so I'm hoping it is, you know, you say what you want and then you pursue it. And it's on camera. So you can watch this video. I can watch this video and look back and be like, did I do what I said I wanted to in X number of years? Have I accomplished my vision? Am I closer to it? And so, yeah. This is like what I have going on. I'm going to New York tomorrow. I'm going to see some friends, and I have a shoot with a company that we're working with there. I won't say anything until it's out, but like it's a huge deal for me because it's a company that I really, really fuck with and love. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to try to post every single day while I'm in New York. And again, just MVP, no thumbnail. I'm not even expecting people to see this. I think these videos are more for like when I make it and then you're like, go back and see my old videos and be like, damn, this shit was trash. You got so much better or whatever it else. And so, yeah. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in New York.